Ladies and gentlemen, The Empire Strikes Back. This is all about our Lord Sith, the Dark Lord, Lord Vader. My Lord, oh God. Because if you ever thought a man was just sexy, evil sexy, it's this. Because this just put him on the map. Yeah, he was amazing in New Hope Episode 4, but then this is the sequel, right? Part 5. And they just amped it up, man, with Vader. This just showed Vader who he really is. And if you've got any interest in watching Star Wars, this will seal the deal with Vader. Peter.
Wow.
Now, the problem, dear audience, is that too many of you who haven't seen this movie, you haven't experienced a sheer masterpiece that is The Empire Strikes Back. I mean, it's like, okay, look, let's rewind a second. Like, I get it. It's an old movie, right? Okay, especially if you're in your 20s, 30s at this stage. You know, you might have seen it, okay, because a bit behind your time. I get it. But lads, you know, even when I was growing up, the old school movies were unbelievable here, you know? And this is no exception. Now, you might be saying, is it just an old sci-fi movie? Isn't it just a bunch of lasers and a guy breathing weird? My friends, Empire Strikes Back isn't just a movie. It's the movie. It's cinema at its peak back in the day. I mean, this was viral before anything was labeled viral, honestly. And, you know, it's Shakespeare with lightsabers. It's Greek tragedy with space battles. This is what it is. And therapy for anyone who's got daddy issues. Now, let's just rewind a few. Let's show you the background here now. Let's take it. So, in A New Hope, Episode 4, the rebels destroy the Death Star. Blows up millions of stormtroopers, and, you know, they weren't doing a very good job anyway, so they weren't missed, I'm sure. And embarrassed, the baddest guys in the galaxy, Darth Vader, you know, he certainly got a bit of a slapping. But you think Vader would just sit back, take a spad and let go, right? No. Vader doesn't forgive. Vader doesn't forget. So what does Vader do? Well, Vader goes full Psycho X mode on the rebels, lads. Empire starts and boom! Immediately. The good guys are getting their butts handed to them. The rebels are hiding in a frozen wasteland called Hoth. And Vader's like, oh, you thought you were safe? Oh, poor little fellas. And he sends in giant walkers. Oh, sorry, no, I can barely speak again. Huge stomping robot elephants of death. I mean, these guys were the coolest things ever. He's just making a statement here, you know? That's typical Vader. Meanwhile, Skywalker goes on a self-improvement journey to become a Jedi, which means he spends the entire middle of the movie running around a swamp with a little green puppet who speaks in riddles. Now, and the puppet, Yoda, I mean, has the nerve to tell him he's impatient. My guy, he's been training for like a day. Chill out, man. And, you know, here's where it gets spicy, lads. While Luke is off doing his CrossFit training with Yoda, Vader's out there personally wrecking people, right? You think your boss is scary? Imagine a boss who literally force chokes incompetent employees through a Zoom call. That's Vader. I mean, he's done messing around. This guy doesn't take any garbage. And Han Solo, frozen in carbonite, boom, unbelievable. Leia, kidnapped and forced to watch, boom. Lando betrays his friend just to stay alive, boom. The Empire's kicking ass, man. Everything is just, every box is ticked on the way down. And the good guys are getting streamrolled. And then we get to the climax. Now, I'm not giving anything away. I'm sure most of you know, but listen, look, we tried to be censored here, okay, on the Peter Welsh Show for you lads. But, you know, I will say this. Luke and Vader. The showdown. Lightsabers clashing. Sparks flying. Vader's not even breaking a sweat here, man. I mean, he's just toying with Luke like a little cat and a mouse. And then the bombshell. Now that moment, you could never guess it, lads. Honestly, if you've never known the story of Vader, Star Wars, and you don't know what's going on, I honestly don't think you'd ever be able to to ever guess what happens in this. You know, I mean, you know that big moment. People who've never seen Star Wars still know that line. So maybe you know exactly what I'm on about. You know, babies are born knowing that line. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, if somebody whispers something to you, you don't need subtitles. You just know. And poor Luke. This man's been training, sweating, running through swamps, flipping over. And what does he get for his efforts? Well, he goes to the toilet here. Now, this is just why Empire Strikes Back is one of the greatest movies of all time, lads. It genuinely is. You know why? Because the bad guys win. Now, I'm not giving away anything here because, as we all, I'm sure most of you know, there's sequels, right? We got episode 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9, so the thing goes on and on and on, right? But the big twist in the story, that just has a ripple effect throughout the whole entire series. And you'll know exactly what I'm on about if you haven't seen this movie, like, I'm telling you. And, I mean, this was back 30, 40 years ago. The bad guys don't win in the movies back then. You know? Heroes are broken. They're down. The bad guys, they rule the world, and Han is frozen like a discounted pizza. You'll know what I mean if you see it. Luke sitting in his spaceship and a million questions, and Vader, well, he just walks away like the greatest mic drop you'd ever see on the planet. I mean, seriously, cape flowing in the wind, completely undefeated. That's it. Job done. Pack your bags, Stormtrooper boys. Let's go. That's the movie, and you're telling me you haven't seen it yet? Oh, lads, listen, I don't care if you got to steal your neighbor's Disney password, rent a VHS from a museum, okay? Just build a time machine, go back to 1980. Just watch The Empire Strikes Back, because if you don't, Vader's coming for you. And unlike the Stormtroopers, he doesn't miss.
Peter.
Wow.